To keep repeating that Trump is Hitler, it's so ridiculous because if there was some sort of Nazi organization, they would not accept Trump because he would not be a good Nazi because during his administration, Black people had an unprecedented levels of economic success. He passed the school choice legislation, so people, including Black people, were able to choose their schools. Funded historically Black colleges and universities. What kind of Hitler does that? Again, they're just repeating for the masses who are not doing any kind of research, not looking into anything. The same thing, the people who keep saying he's racist, he's Nazi. It's just words that have no basis in reality.
But look at this. She's unhinged now. She's unhinged.
Y'all just tell me who the nominee is going to be. Let me know when you guys are finished fighting amongst yourselves who I got to vote for in November to keep Hitler out the White House. That's all I want to know. Who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House. Y'all do your thing. Play in traffic all you want in front of these Republicans, acting a fool in front of these people instead of privately declaring your stuff. But don't text me no more because I'm not taking no more of these texts. Just let me know when you guys are finished figuring it out, Democrats, because I know y'all the freak out people. Go ahead and freak out, have your conversation, and then let me know who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House. That's it. I'm done. Oh, and by the way, if it's Biden in a coma, I'm going to vote for Biden in a coma.
Wow.
I don't even really particularly like the guy. A lot of his policy, don't like him. He's not Donald Trump, right? Yeah. Hitler, White House. We keeping him out. Keeping Project 2025 out. That's all I care about. Up and down the ballot, from the rooter to the tutor. School board, all the way up to White House and everything in between. Governors, members of Congress. I'm just going to vote all the way down to keep these people out. The Project 2025 thing is the whole Republican Party. At this point, it's not about Biden.
Okay. You heard what she said. This is the Democrat way anyway. They say no matter who is running, you must vote Democrat. And she mentioned from the rooter to the tutor, you're not looking at policy, you're not looking at individuals. What's your response, Shelley?
My response is this. She took that hair off her head and now she is good and crazy. Okay. I don't know if she should have left Trump's hair on, but until she took it off, she is really out of this world now. Literally. She is unhinged. She's apoplectic. And that's number one. Number two, more importantly, this is how the left downplays and minimizes significant events, if you will, in history. They keep comparing Donald Trump to Hitler, right? But in doing that, what they're doing is minimizing the travesty that Hitler actually committed. So you throw around Hitler's name so much, it becomes meaningless, if you will. Donald Trump has never murdered anyone, let alone 6 million Jews, plus millions of other groups of people. He's never done that. Just because you don't like his politics does not mean that he is Hitler. But the left does this with a lot of things. They use the word racism and all these other isms and phobias to the point that they become almost meaningless in their context and in their significance.
Yeah. Yana, what are your thoughts to what she said?
Well, first of all, Joy Reid, without the hair, she doesn't look better. She looks scary. I mean, she looks like a plucked bird of some sort. Like, she needs to do something. I mean, put a different one. I don't know. Anyway, she just looks scary. And with those, anyway, I'll stop. And to keep repeating that Trump is Hitler, it's so ridiculous because if there was some sort of Nazi organization, they would not accept Trump because he would not be a good Nazi because during his administration, Black people had an unprecedented levels of economic success. He passed the school choice legislation, so people, including Black people, were able to choose their schools. Then funded historically Black colleges and universities. What kind of Hitler does that?
No, I know.
So, like, it's so, I mean, again, they're just repeating for the masses who are not doing any kind of research, not looking into anything. The same thing, the people who keep saying he's racist, he's Nazi. It's just words that have no basis in reality.
I mean, when you think about what we have going on here, and a lot of us saw this, a year ago at least, what's going on with Biden, we're becoming a lot like Canada. If you remember, Justin Trudeau, when he came into office as the prime minister, prior to that, he was just a high school drama teacher. And you have Klaus Schwab, the head of the WEF. They had an agenda in Canada. They said that they were going to infiltrate Canadian government, or penetrate, I should quote, they said penetrate the Canadian government and push forward policies and ideas. And now we see the states of our president, Biden. He's being influenced. He's being infiltrated and penetrated in probably more ways than one. We don't know who's running our government. We kind of know. We know that it's some type of global elite, some type of agenda going on, but this is scary times. It's not us, the people, it's him, and he doesn't know what's going on.
Nope. No. Our Constitution says that the power is vested in him, a president, and then the succession, of course, is the vice president. But we have, I believe, you have Jill Biden. I'm going to call her the evil bitch, Jill Biden, and the drug addict Hunter Biden sniffing everything he can that's not nailed down. They are grifters. They are professional political grifters of their father and husband, and they are up to no good. They want to remain in power, and this cannot stand. I've been calling on our Supreme Court and our Congress as co-equal branches of our government to have an immediate investigation to find out who really is, because these people were not elected.
No, they weren't. As you mentioned, we have the cabinet members, we have the bureaucrats behind him giving him orders while Biden sleeps. And till what he only has a certain window of the day where he's somewhat cognitive, and the rest of the time he's sleeping. And then you have people within his administration, who knows who, pretty much running the show. Yep. Running the show. And this is why we have these destructive policies that we see going on. Basically, it's the New World Order. It's the New World Order. And this is scary stuff. This is really scary stuff. This is why the Chevron decision that just came down from the Supreme Court was so important. We got to get this guy out of here. And I mean, it is more important now than any that he is not reelected. He is not put back in the White House, because the man is just not there. It's
That's a good point that you said, KJ, that we're turning into Canada, because I've spoken to some Canadians and they're definitely not happy what's going on there. They have their federal government is totally in control of the entire country. So the only difference that we have is that we have states' rights. That's really what is still keeping America free, relatively, compared to Canada. And people are still looking at America from other countries as an example of how to have more freedom because of these states' rights. And so I think that whoever is behind Biden, they definitely want to eradicate that. They want to take away states' rights. They want to take away gun rights from citizens, because once you do that, then people cannot defend any of their rights.
Right. Not only that, but as you mentioned, we saw here in Canada, their immigration is out of control. And that is, it's all by design. That's the first step towards a global government, globalization. It's a massive influx of uncontrolled immigration, no borders. And so then we have sort of like this global economy, this global government taking over. and we're seeing it's in Canada, and now you see it's going on here, and they're pushing this, and not much pushback against it. So, all of these things we need to watch and really take heed of. It's scary times. It's scary times. And then you have them lying and covering up for this man. We had our Governor Wes Moore, here from Maryland, was at the White House lying through his teeth. Lying. I don't understand how anybody can believe these people. But here he is. Several Democratic governors went to the White House to kind of save face, try to keep the cover up going for, the generation of Biden. And here they are here. Take a look. All right. This is our Governor Wes Moore talking about they had a conversation, a very honest conversation with Biden.
It was a great conversation with the president and vice president because it was honest. It was candid. I think that, we always believe that when you love someone, you tell them the truth.
Oh.
And I think we came in and we were honest about the feedback that we were getting. We were honest about the concerns that we were hearing from people. And we were also honest about the fact that as the president continued to tell us and show us that he was all in, that we said that we would stand with him. Because as Governor Walz said, the president has always had our backs. We're going to have his back as well. Because the results that we've been able to see under this administration have been undeniable in all of our individual states. But the thing that makes us most optimistic and most hopeful is not necessarily that we're afraid of an alternative, but also is that we're hopeful for the future. And so we know we have work to do. We know that as we're standing right here, we're behind.
Again, they are behind Biden. What about being behind the people?
And Biden already forgot this conversation that he's talking about.
Yeah, they are behind the people that are supporting them. But what's interesting, two things to me, is that they chose, or Wes Moore was chosen to be one of the people that talked to have this honest conversation with Biden. And number two, notice what he said. It's not that they're afraid of an alternative. Basically, that's code word. We don't want Kamala. Okay. That's code speak, but we do not want Kamala. So we got to talk to this demented, cognitively degenerated man who really doesn't understand anything from week to week, if not day to day. So they're playing this game, and they got Wes Moore, I think, because he's this Obama-esque, because he's this black man. And every time I see his bald head, you know what I want to do? I want to grab a bottle of Windex. That's what I want to do. I want to grab a bottle of Windex and a roll of paper towels. He's so phony. He gets on my nerves.
Yeah. Yana, what's your response to them? Again, going along the party line.
Right. He's just talking. He's being a politician. Like I said, Biden doesn't even remember that conversation. Wes Moore knows this. They all know it. They understand that this is futile. They're just trying to save face. And like Shelley said, they're putting this guy to speak for Biden now to, I guess, prop up the image of Biden. So they're putting this young black governor to make the Democrat Party look better. I don't know. It's like total damage control. It feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of that, I mean, as you mentioned, Shelley, they're not on board with Kamala Harris either.
Because she can't speak either. Like Trump said, she speaks in rhyme.
You her
Speaks in like nursery rhymes, and she keeps repeating herself.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a clip here of CNN roundtable talking about her, and pretty much saying she is complicit. If she is put out front, she's going to take a hammering as well, because all these months, going on a year, she was pushing and backing Biden as this phenomenal, strong mind. And we can see that it's not the case. She was lying. Take a look here. CNN of all places pointing this out.
clear frontrunner, and it's not clear who, if anybody, would actually challenge her for the nomination. But the thing is that she, we talked about credibility. She's going to have to, first of all, answer the fact that she's been one of the main public validators of his health. Remember, after her report, she went out there and said he is with it. He is commanding everything in the room. She's going to have to sit down and answer tough questions. And we talked about Joe Biden hasn't really been out there with reporters. Kamala Harris, besides that initial CNN and MSNBC interview right after the debate, she hasn't really been out there answering questions. And they're going to be, if Joe Biden drops out, the first week that she is out there is going to be critical. So if there's any signs of chinks in the armor, there are many, as you just said, there are many people in the wings that are ready to pounce as soon as she shows weakness.
Yeah. So there you have it. Shelley, what are your thoughts there?
My thoughts are that they don't want Kamala Harris. They're trying to say and pretend and use all of these fancy words, and they don't want her. And they are afraid to say that. They're afraid to say that because she's a Black woman, right? And they definitely don't want their party to be wiped out and all the Black women that support the Democrats to leave. They are on a thin line, and they're really trying to find their way as to how they get through this time right here.
Yeah. As you mentioned, she's a Black woman. Take a look here. This is her really showing off her Blackness. Take a look.
And that's her husband over there in the jeans. See that?
Oh my gosh. And look, y'all know I love to dance, right? Y'all know I have nothing against dancing. Don't get me wrong. I love to dance. But she just looks stupid and goofy and just so unserious all the time. That's the problem.
She's really phony. I mean, it's just super phony. It's like she's acting all the time. This is not, it just feels like everything that she does is not natural for her. I don't know what she is in reality, like what she is like at home, because if she is at home the way that she is in public eye, can you imagine living with her? Like, that would be a nightmare.
I feel you, I think she's like this all the time. And when she's trying to be serious, that's when she's being phony.
I don't know. Well, and I mean, everyone
pandering. It's pandering. It's not real. All of this is just photo ops and video ops and things like that. They are so fake and phony. And this is why Trump became so popular, because love him or hate him, right or wrong, he is always just Trump. Donald J. Trump. Wherever he is, he's going to act the same way, whether he's around young people, old people, Black, white. It's just Donald Trump all the time. And this is just so phony.
And everyone knows she was chosen for her skin color, not for her brains or for her experience. Exactly. And everybody knows this. And now they're terrified that this DEI person is going to possibly be the candidate or possibly the next president of the United States. And I think that is terrifying for them. How is she going to be dealing with world leaders?
Yeah. I mean, and again, this is their same line, their same routine. They're always dancing. I guess they feel like, I guess they've done some type of market research and people like to see them dancing. So they don't have any real policy solutions. Our DA of Baltimore City did the same thing. When she got in trouble with the law and she was getting a lot of bad press, every other time, she's dancing somewhere. She's dancing somewhere. I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's sad that this stuff actually works. You know,
Right.
people, the electorate, they see these people dancing, doing a jig or whatever, and then it's like, oh, I love her. Oh, I love him. You know?
Like she said, like Donna said, she's the DEI selection, and guess what? She's going to demand her DEI progression to the White House. That's what she's going to demand.
Yeah, I want to.